Hi, and welcome to Live with Connie. Today, my guest star is Jaime with Jaime's Hook.
Hi, everybody.
And for those that are watching on replay, please leave a comment to let me know that you're watching. And also, feel free to answer any questions that we ask in today's live. And let's see, we have Crystal here. Hi, Crystal. How are you today?
Hi, Crystal.
And in a little while, I'll let Jaime tell y'all more about herself and her channel. Oh,
Well,
and
let's see. You put me on the spot. I'm feeling a little shy. I've been on YouTube for over 2 years now. I started about like a week after my birthday in 2019. And originally started out just kind of, you know, doing, some basic, crochet style, videos. I was really just excited, because I was sitting there thinking to myself, I can do this. I can do a channel. I can be a presence on YouTube. And, I felt very inspired um, by watching some of the other podcasts. The ones that I really got inspired by was Happy to Hook Creations, and she is really who is Lisa. So she really caught my attention, and she's the one who really kind of inspired me. And then through her, she kept mentioning Seta, of Seta's Place, and I really got hooked onto her. And then they started mentioning, a bag a day, and I was like, okay, well, who are all these channels? So I was checking them all out, and I was like, oh, this is really, really cool. And then it just went from one channel being introduced to another channel, and before I knew it, I was just subscribing, and I was like, I could do this. I could start a channel. I can do this. So um, it was, really started out. I was really excited. I was wanting to do, some tutorials. I still want to do tutorials, but I have yet to do that. I don't have the right setup for it. And then, it just was just, trying to feeling out how YouTube worked and how the community was. And I've just, to this day, I am still floored at how loving and generous this community is. Because growing up, I didn't have anybody in my family who crocheted. Not really. So I'm pretty much, really, to be honest, I'm the only one. My great grandmother used to crochet, but my grandmother never did, and she never showed me that. The person who did show me was my grandfather's wife, who I very briefly knew. Um, I stayed with them for a week back when I was 14. First time I ever stayed with my grandfather, because he just wasn't a big presence in my life at that time. And she showed me how to crochet because I was just bored, And I always had an interest in sewing and things like that, because I really admired my great grandmother, one that did crochet. But I always had a desire to learn how to sew and things like that. So I always admired her for her fiber art skills. But being a kid at 14 and learning to crochet, I just, would go to Kmart when we had Kmarts here in town. I loved Kmart. I wish I still had Kmart. We don't have any more in this area. They've been gone for like 20 years now. But I picked up a book from Kmart and some yarn, and I would just look at the diagrams, and I figured out how to do a lot of stuff from that. And not really having any kind of guidance. And so fast forward to, like, I don't know, like I guess till about like 4 or 5 years ago, I would pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down, Whipville forever, I've made my kid a couple of little things. Like I've made her this really super long Harry Potter scarf. And, and then from that, I was sort of thinking to myself, well, maybe I can really get into it and do some craft fair stuff. I wanted to get into the craft fair circuit. And that's really kind of what really kind of got me onto YouTube. Is I was like, looking to see what kind of crafts that I can make and sell. Well, I already knew how to crochet. So it was kind of like that kind of snowball effect for me. And Googling, crochet and craft fair, and that brought me to Lisa, Happy to Hook. And then, again, going back to what I was talking about in the beginning, how it all started for me. And so, things, were going great. And then the pandemic happened. And everything's just been slowed down. And because of the way things are, I've had to quit my job, which I was working for a school district. And because of that, I couldn't expose family members to COVID. And, being in a school, it's like a petri dish in a sense where people could get sick. And so I quit my job, and I got hired on by my sister. And so basically I've just been keeping my nephews since spring break of 2020. Was it 2020? Before that? I think so. I don't remember. I don't know. I've been doing it for over a year now. But so, I've been trying to do things remotely from her house, and my phone does not have a lot of memory. So it's really, really hard to do things like that. So up until about like maybe 8 months ago, I wasn't coming home. And so I finally started coming home on the weekends about 8 months ago. So it's just kind of been doing a little bit of this here, a little bit of that there, concerning videos and things like that. But now that everybody's, starting to go back to school face to face, the boys are going to go back to school. And so like my position as being there to watch them is, no more. So now I have to go back to the workforce. And a part of me is like, I don't want to go back to work. I've gotten lazy. But a part of me also wants to try to get into the craft fair circuit. But I know that takes a while, and it's going to be not quite as viable as I want it to be in the beginning. And so it's just kind of it. Though I did have an idea that I was going to start showing, videos on, like, basically things that, FOs and whips, and start doing yarn hauls again. I started doing Darn Good Yarn recently in the past few months. So I've been doing a lot of those lately for, yarn hauls and things like that. And, but I've also started considering, what I really want to do is also I have a Facebook store, and I'm just going to, pick up older craft books like this. And this is, some of them are really old, like some of them are like 30, 40 years old. And, just sell these and, introduce them to people who want to buy these kinds of things if they're interested. And some of them have really good recipes. Some of them have really good crafting instructions and things that, if you take your modern materials, you can really jazz them up. and make things look really, really cool. You know, if you got like, you know, something from the 80s, if you put with a modern twist on it, you know, with current materials, you'll have something really super cool for, you know, decorating your house for the holidays or whenever to give as a gift, potentially sell something at a craft fair, etc. So that's, you know, part of the things that I've been, you know, looking to do, to put in my Facebook store in September. Um, you know, I'm thinking about doing like also yarn reviews and things like that. So, I mean, like I said, you know, COVID really just kind of put a lot of stuff on the back burner for me. But I am looking to getting into the swing of things very, very soon. I'm really excited. I'm excited. It's like I'm going to be like really revamping my channel, you know, and I think I really need that. It just doesn't, you know, I don't have any distractions. My kids moved out. I don't have to take care of any of the children. I really just need to find a job. And that will be pretty easy enough, I think.
Let's see. We have a lot of new people that just joined in. Hello, Angela, Froggy, Allison, Lisa, Teresa, Ivy, Miguel, Julie, and Diana. I think I got everybody. How are
Wow.
y'all?
Thanks,
How are
guys.
y'all? What was that?
Thanks, guys, for coming in.
And how is everyone doing? And let us know what y'all currently working on. But when you were bringing up about Kmart, um, I've watched some videos to do with, you know, the decline of Kmart and like the abandoned Kmart buildings,
Uh-huh.
and it's like Kmart was on top of their game, but it, they didn't keep things current, and that's what really hurt them. I think they were too busy lining their own pockets. And then when Walmart came around, Walmart just really destroyed them. And then once they tried to start doing things, they really still didn't do it properly,
Mm-hmm.
and they just went downhill and under. But speaking of the abandoned buildings, there was one about Walmart that they had a Walmart built on a dump ground, and the building started sinking and stuff, and they had to shut the store down.
Wow.
And like in the video, you could see just how much it sunk. I mean, it
Yeah.
was just crazy. I like little things like that. Let's see. Okay, it's Alice. Hi, Alice. How are you doing today? What are you currently? Oh, you're making some sewn needle cozy. Ooh, it's awesome.
Let's see.
Let's see if I missed anything. Miguel says he's working on staying cool. I don't blame you, Miguel.
Right.
I'm so ready for fall.
I'm
Fall
there mentally.
fall can't come soon enough.
You're right.
And Julie says she's working on wearing herself out. Housework, crocheting, and serious coffee drinking.
Exactly.
Let's see.
I'm like chugging like gallons of this iced tea today.
And Allison says she has a big cup of coffee and arguing with a big ball of yarn barf.
It's arguing.
Oh,
That's
some
what
of
it
those
is.
skeins, I mean, they just start tangling bad.
Some of them do.
Ooh, Diana's making an alien amigurumi. Ooh, I'm gonna have to check them out. Y'all know I love my aliens. And Alice says forest fires are bad here right now. Need some rain. Oh no. Yeah, and like in my area, I can't really imagine the forest fires because it doesn't happen where I live.
It's too wet.
I'm used to the hurricanes for the natural
Hmm.
disasters. But I mean, there's just so many horrible natural disasters. And, and Angela's making a dishcloth. Ooh, nice. Ooh, Miguel's trying to get you to come to the August meetup, Jamie.
Yes, if I'm not working. That's my plan. Of course, you know how the plans are.
And Alice is saying sun is orange ball and it's like fog. So you want to go ahead and ask the first question, Jamie?
Yeah, I can do that. Okay, all right. So let's see. You sent me the question. Okay, let's see here. Okay. Okay, what type of yarn are you using on your current crochet and or knitting projects?
And when you ask the questions, Jamie, you go ahead and answer first, and then I'll answer.
Oh, okay.
And when I ask, I answer first, and then you answer. That way, it keeps things simple.
Right, right. Okay, so I got like a ton of whips, but right now my things that I've really been kind of focusing on are making pumpkins. Um, Dude, I forgot to get my two pumpkins that I already have made. But I am working on this pumpkin right now, and I'm using some wool yarn. Now, I'm
Ooh, I like
usually
that.
not a fan of wool, but somebody gave this to me for free at the last meetup that I was at over here in it's North Texas Crochet and Knitting Addicts. No, Crochet and Knitting Addicts of North Texas. I think that's how I said it. All right. Well, anyway, somebody gave me some, but I am teaching myself a new technique with this pumpkin. And this pumpkin, you're doing, it's like when you put together, like all the ribbing on it is diagonal. So I'm learning how to do corner to corner single crochet with this. And that is really a neat thing. It's really kind of opened my eyes up to structure and technique. And I really, really am enjoying the process of it. So if you see, it's like, like I said, it's going corner to corner. So eventually I will decrease and I will have this rectangle, and then I will seam it along the sides, and then I will cinch it, stuff it with fiberfill and then cinch the bottom and the top closed, and then I will make a stem for it. But I think once I am done, it's gonna look awesome.
Awesome. I love those colors. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's very fall like to me. I mean, there's a little bit of pink in there, but that's really it's like a lot of golds and oranges and browns. There's a little pink in there too, but it's really, really pretty. And I think it's going to make a really striking piece.
Let's see. Marquita is here. Hi, Marquita. How are you today?
Hi, Marquita.
And she says she's crocheting bath puffs. Ooh, nice. Well, for me, for my answer to the question, I have three projects that I'm working on, and one project is one that I work on all year long. My temperature blanket, and for that blanket, it's in shades of blue, and I'm using Big Twist and Karen 1 pound yarn on that one, and then I'm crocheting Bag O' Day's hooded poncho.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm using Red Heart Super Saver ombre and green apple, which I love the shades in the yarn. I kind of wish it wasn't red heart per se. But and then I'm also knitting a cable and lace shawl, and I'm using Mary Maxim's Prism yarn and rainbow.
That prism is so popular right now. A lot of people are really recommending it. I've seen it on several channels where they're just absolutely loving that prism yarn, and they keep raving about it.
It's beautiful, and it has like this sheen to it, like a glossiness.
Mm.
And like I know Ice Yarn has some that look similar with their Picasso,
No, yeah, yeah.
the same type of sheen. And there's
Mm-hmm.
one that looks like watermelon colors. And one of these days
Mm.
I'm gonna get that one.
Mm. Yeah, you have to hit up Gia for that one.
Eventually I'll order from her. And let's see. Julie says she's using Mega Ball by Hobie Red. Ooh, nice. Yeah, one of these days I want to order from Hobie too. I love all their sparkly yarns, and especially their Christmas sparkly yarn. Those are beautiful. And Crystal says she's using Yarn Bee hand dyed yarn for her knitted socks. And oh, Crystal, what weighted yarn are you doing for your socks? Is it number one, or are you using a thicker yarn? Oh, and Julie loves your the colors on your pumpkin.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I love the fall colors. And let's see. Allison says, Red Heart Jumbos my son found for me at a yard sale. Just looking for a pattern that catches my attention. And you know, I love when I find yarn at yard sales or thrift stores. But we really haven't had like yard sales hardly lately. Not since COVID started. I miss yard sales. Marquita says she's doing good, trying to get the sweater done, working bath poofs in between, and getting ready to film the prize winner of the giveaway. It's been so fun. Oh, awesome. And Miguel wants to know, Jamie, if you finished the gloves you were knitting at the meetup.
No, I didn't do. I didn't finish it. I didn't like how. I think I misunderstood a direction in the pattern, and I just don't remember what I had done because it's one of those things I picked up and I put down, I picked up and I put down, and I wasn't working on it continuously. So I don't remember what I had done differently. I know I had done something differently. So I'm going to try to do it again. But I do have one finished glove. And yeah, I've heard of people saying, like the one sock syndrome when they knit one sock and then they don't make the other. And I'm like, yeah, no, I have the one glove syndrome.
I tried to do everything I could to prevent that from happening. I counted, I measured while I was knitting my first pair of socks.
Mm-hmm.
So fortunately, mine came out good.
Oh, that's great.
Let's see, Lisa the Grammy's here. Hi, Lisa. How are you today? So, okay, it was number one. Awesome. It looked like it was, but I wasn't definitely sure. Let's see. Okay, that's everyone's comments. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next question. What is the strangest coincidence that has happened to you? For me, it would be whenever me and Frank first started talking, because I had told y'all before that we met actually on MySpace, and we both had a mutual friend. So and Frank talked about this today in my Knitting Friday video.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, whenever we first started talking on the phone, it was like we could complete each other's sentences. Like
That's so funny.
I would be thinking one thing, and then he would bring it up, and vice versa. And it was just like it was odd because I mean we never met at this point, and it's like, and we still, it's been a constant thing with us. But now it's more like we're used of it, so we don't think anything of it as much anymore. But how about you, Jamie?
Okay, so the question was, what's the strangest thing that's ever happened to me?
Strangest coincidence.
Oh, coincidence. Okay, so back when we used to have regular phones on the wall, I had this thing where like I could feel that somebody was about to call the house. And it would be like 30 seconds later, the phone would ring. And it happened to me several times. Like, I would just be there, like, the phone's going to ring. And then it would ring. And I'm like, this is spooky. But that would happen. And I was like, and it would be somebody that I know. It's like, okay, maybe somebody's thinking about me. And like, I know that they're going to call me. It would be weird. It was just one of those weirdo things that would happen, And then like, also sometimes, I'll be thinking of like, okay, like my boyfriend or something, and he'll send me a text. And I'm like, I was just thinking about you. It's weird. It's weird. I got a phone thing. I don't know.
No, I wouldn't predict people calling me, when it happened type thing. But I had it where I'd go pick up the phone to call somebody, and then somebody was on the line, and it was that person.
Yeah.
With, the old phones, and it was just like, you're like, hello, or they say hello, and you're like, okay, there was no dial tone, what's happening? And I was like, I was just fixing to call you.
I know. It's so weird.
And I don't think we really experience that anymore with cell phones. Well, maybe the fact that they call when you're fixing to call them, maybe. But yeah, good old landlines.
I know. I miss having landlines sometimes.
And then I remember, before having caller ID and all.
All right. Yeah. Before caller ID, and you'd be like, I'm not going to talk to that person. Forget about it.
And now with all the with all the like scammers and
oh gosh. Yes, Scam Likely loves to call me every day.
The scammers, the solicitors.
And they'll say, hey, your auto warranty is up. I'm like, I don't have a car.
And it's like I'm on the do not call list, but it don't matter.
It don't matter.
And I've even tried reporting the numbers.
Right.
Let's see. So has anyone else had any strange coincidences? Let us know in the chat if y'all have. But yeah. And I remember too, like, the phone in my parents' bedroom, they had this long cord. So like I would take the phone and bring it in my room or in the living room sometimes and get on the phone. Back before really the cordless or phones came out.
I remember that being such a big deal of having your own phone in your house, like in your own room or something. Remember that? I was always envious of my friends who had their own phone line, or at least a phone in their bedroom.
I didn't actually have a phone in my bedroom. I just would carry the phone with the long cord in my room.
Yeah, I remember that too. Yeah, these kids don't know the struggle.
Hi, Caitlin. How are you doing today? But yeah, and the rotary phone.
Yeah, my great-grandparents had the rotary phone.
And I think it's funny when you see like the videos of young people today They don't know what to do on a rotary phone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, would they still work? I guess they would. I don't know.
They should if you have a landline.
Maybe.
But then too, maybe technology has changed that much.
Really, really. It used to be like right before everything was on the internet, but it used to be where if you had a landline, that if you had a power outage, um, that you could still use the phone. But now everything is based on the internet. Like your phone is through the internet, and so if your internet goes down, your phones go down.
Yeah, how much things have changed.
Oh, certainly, certainly.
Because I mean, like growing up, there was no internet whenever I was young, and and now it's like we can't live without it.
Oh no, really. We didn't start getting internet until I was like 21, 22. So that was over 20 years ago. And, even then it was dial up, I mean, it's just what we could afford at the time, and yeah, I remember the good old days of dial up and America Online and MySpace.
And I remember something from before that, before there was really an internet. Um, I think basically you just took the phone cord and plugged it into the back of your computer, and you would have your computer dial up a phone number.
Really?
Yeah, and it was kind of like a mini internet where basically like it was like a little message board, and you could
Hmm.
like basically email people on it. But like
Hmm.
I used to enjoy those whenever I was in junior high.
I say I didn't get that far.
And then sometimes you could chat with like the administrator of the, I think they call it a BBS or something like that. But but yeah, I used to play around with that. So let's see.
Well, I was pretty poor as a kid, so we didn't have a house phone for a large majority of, especially my teenage years. And, when I would, visit family, like one year I did live in Georgia, and I lived with my aunt in Georgia for a year, and then I came back to Texas because I just missed it so much. But she used to have a phone in her house, and that's where I would have like that weirdo, sense like, okay, somebody's gonna call, But like after I became an adult, and I had my first job, it was like I had to walk like a quarter mile down the road just to get to the payphone. And believe me, when I got sick, that was no fun walking down to the payphone. And then called up my job and going, I get too sick. I can't come to work. Oh
And
boy.
no more payphones now. And Diana saying she hates those warranty spam calls. I think it's aliens. I think the aliens are the ones behind the warranty calls.
Right. Or the one with the your student loan. And you need to talk about your student loan. I don't have a student loan. How do you know? I guess they assume that everybody out there in America has a student loan.
When I was in high school, my American history teacher would always say things that you couldn't explain in history was aliens.
Well, have you ever watched Ancient Aliens?
What was that?
Have you ever seen that show, Ancient Aliens?
No.
You never seen it? You need to watch that. That show's a little bit trippy. It's cool though. It's like I think it's something that you can probably crochet or knit and just kind of watch out of the corner of your eye, just glance up from here and there. But it's pretty cool. I mean, some of the people on there are just kind of like, they're just way out there. But there are some that are pretty cool, and it's just fun to watch.
And Lisa saying when I guess one time when she was young and stupid, she was speeding down a back old country road and she hit black ice and her course spun a few times and she just happened to land in a long dirt driveway, which was four and few between. Ooh, yeah,
Ooh,
you got lucky.
no kidding.
Yeah, my first experience with black ice, I was in New Jersey, and I was riding with one of my friends, and it just felt like she wasn't stopping, and I'm like, okay, why isn't she stopping? And I mean, she just barely missed hitting the car in front of her.
Holy cow.
And
That's
after
scary.
she was like, I was braking. She's like, that was black ice I hit, and it was like, oh, that's scary.
That is scary.
Because like down south, like when you have icy roads and snow
Mm-hmm.
and stuff, we normally don't get out on the roads.
Mm-mm.
I
No.
mean, yeah, there's some that do, but
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah.
best not to.
Okay, like yeah, so I used, my history is grocery store retail history, and I remember being a young woman being a cashier, um, and I thought it was so funny. As soon as we would have like a major ice storm or a cold snap or something, it was like the things that would fly off the shelf just totally just tripped me out. It would be like bottled water, bananas, bread, toilet paper. And it would be like, like dudes, we're only gonna have ice for about like maybe 3 days, and you're acting like it's the apocalypse. I mean, it's like all this stuff just flew off the shelf. You look down the water, the water aisle, it's just bare. It was just funny. And I'm like the sun's gonna come out. I promise. I promise. It's gonna come out and it's gonna melt all the ice away. I swear.
But I think what it is because a lot of times you lose electricity, so you need to be prepared where you have stuff to eat that don't require electricity.
Well, after this really bad ice storm, after what we went through, we did actually buy an extra battery, an extra, chargeable battery, and we tested that every now and again. But we did. Now I was at my sister's house, but at my house, my roommate, um, he lost power a couple of times for a few hours, but that was enough to make you nervous, because you're hearing stories about people experiencing whole, lots of days. I had a friend who lived down in Austin, and they were without power for like, I don't know, about 5 days and running water, so it was really it was wild, because they just didn't know what was going on, and we were just all texting each other, and I was fine, I was, in my little neck of the woods, and even just a few blocks away, some people were just having, really major power outages, and we were fine. And it wasn't really just like one area as opposed to another, it was just in different places, that you just never knew what was going to happen. So now we're just a little bit more prepared. Like, if the electricity does go out, we do have a battery that's big enough to, like, plug up our refrigerator to if we need to. If it goes out longer than, like, 7 or 8 hours, we can plug it up to a refrigerator and it can run a refrigerator, for an X amount of time. And that way, all of our perishable stuff won't, go to waste.
Let's see. Marquita is saying that the ones who get out on the roads when snowing in the South are brave.
They
Yeah,
are, yes. I've
because
got a story too.
most people in the South don't know how to drive in it. And even if you're safe and doing everything right,
Mm-hmm.
there's that, there's those that don't know how, what they're doing. And that was my coffee pot. So you want to go ahead and ask the next question, Jamie?
Okay, let me take a look. See here. All right. All right. I gotta go back up. All right. Let's see. What is the most ridiculous thing you believed as a child? Okay, so I had to really kind of think about this, and I remember when I was real little, I was living in East Texas, and my sister was a baby, and we were living with my grandparents, and I had a real mischievous grandfather, and I used to call him Pawpaw, and um, he had this thing he loved to scare us. Oh God, he loved to scare us. So I was probably about like six or seven, and every time we drove to the part of town where the cemetery was at night, he'd say, "Get down." Get down, in the floorboard. Of course, back then we didn't have to wear seatbelts. So he used to say, the headless horseman is chasing us and he's going to get you. And I believed him. So I would just get down and I was scared, and he's like, don't look, the headless horseman's going to get you. And I believed it. I so believed it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And it was only when we were going to buy the cemetery. So, oh man, he had the best time tricking us little kids like that.
For me, we had one of those big gas heaters in the hallway at the end of the hallway. And I thought it was a door that led to a secret room in the house with like jewels and stuff. I came up with this all on my own. No one influenced me. I think one time I asked my mom, you know, about the secret room, and she's like, "No, there's nothing back there. That's a heater."
It's amazing what our child minds tell us.
Yeah, and at one point too, which I used to think like, whenever I learned how, a man and woman, make a baby.
Uh-huh.
Well, I didn't realize that it's whenever, you don't have anything on. So I got scared that like if you bumped into a guy
Oh no.
that you would get pregnant. And one time I would like I'm in elementary school and I'm thinking I'm pregnant because I would play chase with with some boys. And I'm like, well, what if we accidentally bumped? And then it was like that's whatever like my mom had to explain to me that's not how it works. I was trying to keep it as clean as possible.
Yeah, right.
Hopefully not to go into too much detail there.
Right.
But when you were talking about the mischievous nature, I had a brother that my oldest brother has a mischievous. So he used to work at a grocery store in the produce section. So like he would get the sticker saying like ripe and fresh and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And in high school, he would place them like on the teacher's desk or other students' desk, and they would sit down. And they would have a sticker, on their back saying like ripe.
Right.
And then there was another time that he wrote my other brother's name like carved it into the windowsill. And like when my dad noticed it, he got all mad. And of course, it looked like it was my other brother that did it. And like I think like everyone got in trouble for it.
Yeah.
And it was my oldest brother.
Oh my gosh.
See, I think I was either a baby or wasn't born yet, so I got out of it. Let's
Oh
see.
my gosh. Yeah. I mean, I was like one of those little kids that was always making a mess and always getting into things because I was artistic, you know? I was like trying to make things prettier, and I remember one time my stepdad spackled a wall, or he fixed a hole in the wall and he put like a spackle all over it. And I had one of my little plastic teacups, and I was putting circles all into it and stuff. And I got my butt busted for that one. But it was so pretty, and it was fun to play with.
Marquita saying, I really thought there was gold at the end of the rainbow and made it to the end of one and almost cried when seeing nothing was there.
Oh,
Aww.
no. Oh.
And it's funny how, like, yeah, it's like everyone tells children these things, and then when they find out the truth, it's just like,
I have a nephew. He's 8, so he's already starting to see, like he's already asking questions like, how does a baby get inside of a woman? And I'm just like, you gotta talk to your mama on that one. I am not answering this question. You're talking to your mama on that one. And I was telling her about it, and she's like, oh, well, just tell them there's like this bird, okay? This big old bird, like a stork. Oh. He's like, really? You think he's gonna know that? He's gonna believe that? Oh, I was like, oh no, I'm not ready for that narrative.
Lisa saying that her brother's My Buddy doll was going to come alive and kill us because he looked like Chuck. I guess
They
Chucky.
do look like Chucky. I thought that for the longest time. Those yeah, My Buddy dolls that look like Chucky. They're scary ass dolls.
And Lisa saying, I just told my kids that the man plants a seed in the woman.
Oh my god. Baby.
Okay, so let's see. I think yes. No, it's my turn. Okay, yeah. What is a useless talent that you have? And for me, my toes, I got like this super grip on my toes. Like I can like pick up something like on the ground with my toes. And like I'll also like I'll grab like Frank's toes with my toes. And he says my grip hurts.
Wow.
So I got talented toes.
You got piano playing toes, right?
So how about you, Jamie?
Okay, so I've got 2 useless talents. I can whistle and make it sound like a cricket, and then I can make my nose wiggle from side to side and up and down. And so I guess I can display that. So, okay. All right, so we're going to do the nose trick. I don't know if maybe I should like, there we go. Okay, here we go. It's that side to side. Up and down. And then I can whistle. I can chirp like a cricket. So.
That's cool.
I mean, that's my two useless talents.
Caitlin says I can touch my nose with my tongue. And you know, I used to be able to whenever I was younger, but now I can't. I can't anymore. But
let's see.
And Lisa says I can turn my arm almost all the way around.
Ooh. It just hurts thinking about it.
I can get my feet where they're like this, where they point inside. Like you know how like a ballerina goes like that.
Yeah, yeah.
I can do it like the opposite way.
Huh.
I have pigeon feet.
Ah.
Where the thing was that like whenever I was young and my feet were pointing in, my mom brought it up to my doctor and he told her I would grow out of it, but I didn't. And by the time that my mom saw I wasn't growing out of it, she didn't want me to have corrective shoes because they look like baby shoes, and she thought I would get made fun of. So like you notice it more with me, like when I'm tired, my feet will point in more.
Really? Huh.
Let's see. Lisa saying, I told them I would tell them when they were a little older. I finally told Hannah, and she said that was the most disgusting thing she had ever heard. And I could talk about it again. Yeah, it's funny how we think as a child and it changes. Let's see. So, you want to go ahead and ask the next question, Jamie?
All right, let's see what we got on here. Let's see. So what did I ask last time?
The ridiculous thing you believed as a child.
Right. Okay, so what commercial jingle gets stuck in your head all the time? Okay. I don't know if anybody has this in their local area, but it's the O'Reilly Auto Parts jingle that you hear on the radio. And it goes, oh, O'Reilly Auto Parts, you know? I don't know if anybody has that, but it's like, it's the most catchy jingle ever. And as soon as it comes on, it's like you just stop and go, oh, O'Reilly.
For me, it's more of this is an old one for Zest.
Oh yeah,
the one where Zest fully cleans. You're not fully clean unless you're Zest fully
clean. Yes.
And like, well, this one really isn't a jingle, but I always liked how like the old Charmin commercials with Mr. Whipple, don't squeeze the Charmin.
Don't squeeze the Charmin.
That was always a cute one.
Excusez-moi.
Marquita saying there might be bugs on some of you mugs, but there ain't no bugs on me. I don't think I've heard of that one.
Oh, that was for a commercial for like, you know, like those pet drops, you know, you put on the, yeah, that's what that was from, you know, it would show like a puppy. And I remember what that was.
Oh,
yeah, like a good neighbor.
And sometimes I'll change that up, like a good neighbor, like Franklin is there, or or you know, someone else. I just clown around, or I'll tell people like a good neighbor, Connie is there.
That's good. I might use that at home.
Lisa saying, "Where's the beef?" Oh, I love that one. I wish Wendy's would go back to that. That was just like one of the funniest commercials.
Oh yes, funny commercials. Oh gosh, I used to love watching commercials. Um, I mean, like I remember back in the day when we had just regular TV all the time. We didn't have even on cable. You just had regular TV with commercials and everything like that. But like yeah, like all those commercials, some of them were just downright hilarious. You're looking at that and every time you see it, you just chuckle and laugh. I mean, I nowadays it's like whenever I like I've started where I like to watch like I watch a lot of Hulu and sometimes I'll have commercials, but it's like the same commercials, the same five
Mhm.
commercials over and over again, you know. And and some of them are really, really good though, you know. But I don't know if like the Super Bowl commercials are a real big deal now. Are they still a big deal since people don't watch commercials as much as they used to? Do y'all remember
I know
how
that
that is?
I know they were still, but like I don't know, like with everything that's been going on like the last year or so, a lot of stuff has changed.
Mm-hmm. I know everything has changed exponentially. The way we do things anymore nowadays. Even the commercials are just like they're just different. And it's all about this.com and that.com and not necessarily over products like. It's always over all these websites that you can go to. But some of them are actually really, really funny,
Hmm.
like the Travelocity um, commercials are pretty fun, or the Geico commercials, those are pretty fun. I used to love the cavemen. Remember the Geico cavemen?
I don't know if I remember that one.
You don't remember those guys? Those were funny. Oh, it was probably about 15 years ago, but they were pretty darn funny. The Geico cavemen.
I just mostly remember the lizard.
Yeah, you need to look at because they're. I'm sure you can find them on YouTube. So yeah, the Geico cavemen. Those guys were funny.
And then like Jake, the original Jake from State Farm commercials,
Yeah,
those
the
were
original
fun.
Jake. Yeah, and it'd be, who's
What are you
this?
wearing, Jake? Jake from State Farm?
Polo to khaki.
But now they're just not the
They're
same.
not the same. No, that was actually really, really funny. Who are you talking to?
And that's the thing. It's like, okay, it's one thing that they changed Jake, but make them funny. Make the commercials funny.
Yeah. Or that Terry guy from the Old Spice commercials. I can't remember his last name. I know his first name is Terry. You know, and he'd do those Old Spice commercials. He'd like tear off his shirt, and he's like doing the peck dance, and those were funny. I can't remember his name.
Lisa saying, give me a break, Kit Kat boy."
Yes,
Yeah.
I was thinking that too. I was like, "Give me a break, give me a break."
Everyone's gonna have all these commercials and jingles stuck in their head after this live. And they're gonna be like, Connie, Jamie, it's 3 years old.
Do you remember the 7 Up commercials? Because yeah, somebody was bringing up 7 Up, but it was like there was the 7 Up commercial, and it'd be like make 7 Up yours, and it would have like 7 Up, and then on the back it would say up yours, and you'd be walking down the street, people going up yours.
I remember the have a Coke and a smile.
Yes, have a Coke and a smile. Yeah, I still kind of say that every once in a while. I'm like, just go have a Coke and a smile, okay? Just go.
Lisa saying when my oldest kid was around 2 or 3, she would do the commercials for everything as we went through the stores.
You
That's
can't write
cute.
that. That's too cute.
And Crystal saying, I very much dislike commercials on TV. Yeah, for the most part, that's true. But every now and then, there are a few good ones.
Hmm.
Yeah, she records everything and skips commercials. Yeah, a lot of times, most of us don't really watch that many commercials anymore because of that.
Right. So I used to call myself a commercial cleaner. I get up and clean during the commercials.
Yeah, that's whenever you either go get you something to drink,
Something
get
to
some,
drink.
get a snack or something, or a potty break.
Yeah. Get up. Like, oh, I think, I'll get the laundry at the next commercial. I can just fold it while I'm watching.
Okay, let's see. What about the McDonald's filet o fish sandwich on the radio?
I don't know
Those
what that one is.
commercials were annoying.
I
Some
don't
of
remember
those
that.
were just like I remember the old one, the old McDonald one, Big Mac filet of fish, quarter pounder French fries, icy Coke thick shake sundaes, and apple pie.
I don't remember that.
That one's really old. It was Terry Crews.
Yeah, Terry Crews. That's his name. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
And Lisa saying the Frito Bandito, the Uncola for 7 Up. Oh, and Chris is here. Hi, Chris. How are you today?
Hi, Chris.
So let's move on to the next question. Oh, hold up. Lisa has one. She's the Big Mac, 2 all beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
I remember that.
Okay, so the next question is, do you have any fruit trees? If so, what type? Well, for me, we have a mulberry tree,
Hmm.
and that one actually does produce. And I also have a peach tree that hasn't only it's flowered a few times, but it
Mm-hmm.
hasn't. And then I have either a nectarine or a plum tree. I had both, and one of them kicked the bucket, but I don't remember which one was which.
So it's like mystery fruit.
So
Eventually,
that
you'll find out.
that one hasn't done anything either. Let's see. Nadine's here. Hi, Nadine. How are you? So, what about you, Jamie?
I don't have any fruit trees, though I do have an old pecan tree. But it's really old, and I don't think it's really producing a lot of pecans. Um, though, if I were to get a fruit tree, I probably would. I think plums do really good here, and I think pears. Like I would do a pear tree. I've seen pear trees grow great here, and then and pomegranates. Um, I think those are probably best. Now I'm not a big plum eater, as a matter of fact, but my all-time favorite jelly is red plum jelly. I I could bathe in this stuff. I love it so much. It is like my all-time favorite jelly. Not only a lot of jelly. No, I was like counterproductive, but I love red plum jelly. If I probably have jelly here, I probably would be eating it all day long. Big spoons of jelly, just you know, I love it.
See, now I'd like to get me a satsuma tree one day. I love satsumas.
What again?
Satsumas. It's kind of like an orange or a tangerine.
Huh? I've never heard of that.
I find they're easier to peel than an orange, and they have less seeds than a tangerine.
Hmm. I don't think I've heard of that.
I love them.
Maybe I know it by a different name.
But they're not in season long. They come in season around Halloween,
Hmm.
and they last probably about maybe 2 months tops, and then they're out of season.
See, like, because in the past I've had family members who have been trying to bring in citrus trees into Texas. Actually, they're unless you're like a professional grower, I think they're illegal to bring into Texas because there's like a fungus on citrus trees. Now I'm not 100% sure on this. Don't quote me, but Yeah, I've had family members they had to drive out to Louisiana and bring in like lemon and lime trees because they were illegal. But I've seen them in a nursery before, where people are selling lemon and lime trees. Now, I think it's too cold up here, especially in North Texas, for lemon and lime trees. I mean, it definitely gets hot, but it's just yeah, it's just too cold for them here. Now if you were in South Texas, that'd be not a problem. And I know South Texas, they grow those really good Rio ruby red grapefruits. Oh man, they're almost sweet. I mean, they're just so good. If you get a chance to get a Rio ruby red grapefruit, man, they're worth it. They're just so good.
Ooh, yeah, I haven't had grapefruit in a while. You
Yeah,
know
me
what else?
neither.
You know what else is good? The blood red oranges.
So what is it again?
Blood red oranges.
Oh yeah, the blood oranges. Those are good. Those are really really good. I like those too. They're
But
expensive.
but lately, like for a while there, Walmart had them, but now I can't find them there. Like the last few years.
It's been they're very seasonal. I know that orange and like produce season doesn't really kind of start until like December to like February. So that's usually when you have your citrus harvest coming in, which is so strange because we associate citrus with spring and summer, and really it's actually a winter harvest fruit. A lot, I thought that was kind of strange, but yeah, that's really what it is.
Caitlin saying she has a pear tree that she planted last year, so far no fruit.
Aw,
And then like some trees you actually have to have two because some fruit trees you need a pollinator.
yeah. Sometimes you need a male and a female. I know that's true for avocado trees. Like you need a male and a female avocado tree. I think that's how that works out.
And Nadine says she has a beautiful black cherry tree in her yard.
Oh, that's
Uh,
nice. Oh, I would love to have that.
and Crystal says red plum jelly is
See,
awesome.
Crystal knows. She's a Texas girl. She knows red plum is good.
And Caitlin says satsumas are too sour for me. Oh, I love me some satsumas. I could just keep eating them. And Lisa says we have a small apple tree that she thinks. No fruit yet, but there's a walnut tree, but the squirrels get the nuts.
Oh, that would be so neat to have a walnut tree. Man, that would be great.
We get a lot of squirrels in our yard.
Yeah, I got a lot of squirrels too.
And let's see. So you want to go ahead and ask the next question?
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, every time my screen blacks out, I have to go back into it. It doesn't stay. Okay, all right. What is your favorite type of house plant? I guess it would be just like an ivy. I think ivies are really pretty. They're hard to kill. The ones that my grandma used to have, she had them either both planted or in water. And I mean, she had like, and you can start new ones and they're just, they were, I don't know what kind of ivy they were, but they were just standard ivy. And those work out great. But I also like the airplane plants or spider plants, as sometimes people call them. I like those too. I've got those on the back porch, but it's like nearly dead. I probably need to take some of the babies off of that and start growing some more of those.
See, for me, I like the ivies, Christmas cactus, succulents. I love succulents.
Yeah, I kind of like succulents too.
And cactuses too.
Cactuses. I like them, but like I can't touch them.
And that's all I can think of offhand. But I'm sure I'm going to agree with a lot of the comments.
Let's see.
Ooh, Lisa says that squirrels chew the wiring in her engine of
Oh
a truck. Oh,
no.
I never even really knew that they did that.
Oh no. Oh, those little buggers.
That is horrible.
That is horrible.
Put them in timeout. Let's see. Laura Lee's here. Hi, Laura Lee. How are you today?
Hey, Laura Lee.
And Diana saying we had a peach and orange tree years ago. She misses it.
Aw.
Oh yeah, because if I had a bunch of fruit trees, I'd be eating fruit all the time.
Oh, totally, totally. Yeah, I want to have fruit trees so I can also have keep bees too.
But I also want to see that my trees are doing something before I invest in more trees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Because
that's a good idea.
I'm not the best when it comes to plants. I got a black thumb. Caitlin,
Running.
what was that?
Oh no, I was just reading. Sorry.
Caitlin says running ivy and aloe. Yeah, aloe's another good one.
I would like to have some aloe. I think it's so good to have, just to have on hand. Yeah, I don't know why don't I have aloe right now? That's kind of, I need to have aloe. I agree. Aloe would be great.
And Carrie and Mel's here. Hi, y'all. How are y'all today? Let's see. Lisa says wandering Jew, port leaf. I'm gonna.
Philodendron.
Okay, I knew I was gonna say that wrong. I'm not sure offhand which plants those are. I've probably seen them and just don't. Like wandering Jew sounds familiar.
It's like you've seen like the purple leafed ones that a lot of people have them in their front yard.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's sometimes they're also called noses in a boat. But they have, and sometimes they'll have like a little flower. Now they can come in different colors. Like there's some that are green, but I've only really seen them in purple. Some of them are variegated, but they'll have like the little flower about like like a big or so. They're kind of like, yeah.
Another one I like is I can't think of what you call it. It's like pink and green leaves.
That sounds like coleus.
I think it is.
Or the well, there's coleus, and that has, and usually that's outdoors. But there's one that's, I used to call it a pink splash paint plant, and the leaves were like, it had a bright pink spots on them. Just it looked like like you splashed paint on them or something. Is that what you're talking about? We used to call it pink splash.
I know, like when I went to the doctor's office, they have some that, and the leaves, their leaves. I mean, it's big. I was like, it's beautiful.
You're thinking of caladiums. I know what you're talking about now. Those are caladiums. That's a bulb plant. And yes, there's different varieties, and they like the shade. There are some that do like the sun, but I know exactly what you're talking about. You're thinking of caladiums. I used to work in a nursery a long time ago too.
And Diana says we have a pecan tree, but we're always fighting the squirrels.
Mm-hmm.
And technically, we do have a pecan tree, but it don't produce.
Yeah, mine don't either. If it does, the squirrels eat it.
And Lisa says she's not supposed to have fruit. She's fructose intolerant. Oh,
bummer.
That's not good.
Yeah, that's really, really tough. Fructose intolerant. I never heard of that. That's a new one on me.
And Chris was asking if anyone has ever had the fruit from the cactus plants that has turned into jelly. It is prickly pear jelly.
I've actually tasted prickly pear before. I've had it before, and it's okay. It's good, but I've never had it in jelly. So I really can't say I've had it in jelly, but I've actually had the prickly pear. I've got like this nursing home right down the road from me, and they have like this big prickly pear hedge, And like I'll used to walk right by it all the time, and I would see like the fruit sitting up on top of it, you know, and I'm like, I just want to go over there and ask them if I can harvest some of that prickly pear. I actually wouldn't mind having a patch of that along my fence line in the back. I think that would be really, really cool because that you know, nobody would want to try to hop my fence.
So I'm going to move on to the next question. Do you love pumpkin spice? And if so, what are your favorite pumpkin spice products? I
No.
love me some pumpkin spice. And it's kind of funny because I used to always turn my nose up at pumpkin or pumpkin spice. But then I started thinking a few years back, I was like, I don't think I've ever actually tried it. So how can I not like something if I never tried it? So I finally tried it and I fell in love. But like I love like the pumpkin spice coffee, the coffee creamers. Uh I know there's other things too. I'm trying. Oh, making pumpkin spice. There's this recipe that I've made where it's pumpkin spice filled with cream cheese muffins. Those are
Mm.
awesome. Uh, that's. I'm sure there's other pumpkin spice products, but I can't think of offhand. But what about you, Jamie?
It depends. It's like I don't like. I love pumpkin pie. Don't get me wrong, love pumpkin pie, but pumpkin spice products, if it's too strong, then I don't like it. I like a subtle pumpkin spice, which is mostly what that really is. It's just it's cinnamon and nutmeg, which is mostly really what it is, and like maybe a little bit of um, you know, allspice, but and maybe a little bit of clove. I think it's clove. I think it's cinnamon, nutmeg, and clove. But if it's like too much, it can just be overpowering. And I love cinnamon. The older that I get, the more I love that heavier, spicier flavor. Before as a kid, you could get me to touch it, but I absolutely love pumpkin pie. It is like my all-time favorite pie. But when they came out with all this pumpkin spice stuff, and I was just like, I don't know. And I would try it, and I'm like, it just doesn't taste like pumpkin. And I'm assuming, you know, I'm thinking like it's gonna taste like pumpkin pie, and it doesn't taste like pumpkin pie. It's just the spices that they put in pumpkin
Mhm.
pie. And I'm like, that's what it is, you know. But it's, you know, all in all, in general together, it's all really, really good. Um, Sometimes I'll even put that combination and I'll put it on like apples or something, you know, like I'll bake an apple or saute some apples or something in some butter, put a little bit of that on there, and it's really good.
And like for me, like in my area, you can only find the little bitty containers of the McCormick
Yeah.
pumpkin spice. So I
Hmm.
got tired because I was using it too much. So I just started. I look online, find a recipe, and make my own
Yeah, you can.
because I
It's
have
just a
the
blend.
other seasonings, and that's what I do. And another spice that's good that I found a recipe for apple spice.
Yeah, apple spice is good. Yeah, it's almost the same in a sense.
They're very similar.
Hmm.
Let's see. Crystal is saying she likes the pumpkin spice creamer in small increments.
Yeah.
I love this. I love the seasonal coffee creamers. Oh, and Chris is saying prickly pear in the dairy air.
Yeah.
And Chris loves pumpkin spice. He loves the pumpkin spice seasonal yogurt that comes out. Yeah, that is good. And let's see, where was I? Diana's saying that y'all know I'm in West Texas. Hubby
Hmm.
bought 3 cantaloupes and 2 yellow watermelon from a fruit stand just outside city limits today. You just donate funds and take what you want.
Oh, that is so awesome.
Ooh,
I tell you what, that area, they grow the best watermelon and cantaloupe. They get the right amount of sun, and it is so sweet. I guarantee you, it's like some of the best. So I am jealous. I'm so jealous right now that you're getting. all that fresh farm watermelon and cantaloupe. So I enjoy that for me. I live vicariously through you.
Yeah, my mouth is watering.
Yeah, right. Oh, I love that. Yeah, my grandmother used to eat cantaloupe almost every day. So I ate a lot of cantaloupe as a kid.
Yeah, cantaloupe is my favorite.
Oh, it's so good.
And
Just get it.
Caitlin says, get a can of pumpkin pie filler and a yellow cake and make muffins. Those are very good.
They are good. I love pumpkin. Have
Yeah,
you ever baked a pumpkin? Have you ever like cooked, like anything with like a fresh pumpkin? You ever
yeah,
tried that?
yeah. I've baked it.
It's a little bit different than canned pumpkin. I
And
think
then
it's more.
we've tried the pumpkin seeds too.
Oh yeah, I like pumpkin seeds. I've roasted those myself too. Just from the jack-o'-lantern pumpkins. Those are good.
So Lisa says she has a cantaloupe she's cutting up today. Ooh,
Oh man,
that sounds so good. Okay, so I think we'll ask one more question and then wrap things up.
sounds like a plan.
So you want to ask the next one?
Yeah, I can ask the next one. Okay. What was that question? Okay, let's see. Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought about this one too. What is your favorite flavor of ice cream? So, it's not just one flavor. I can't just define just one flavor. It's just like there's different companies that make different ice creams. Like every company has like their signature ice creams. Like okay, so if I'm like doing Ben and Jerry's, it's got to be fish food, PHISH food, and it's like vanilla, and then it's got like swirls of fudge and caramel, and it's got like these little chocolatey bits that are shaped like fish. It's so good. I've had it forever, but it's really, really good. And then if I'm going to Brahms, I really like their raspberry ganache. That is so good. You can buy it in like in the tub. That's off the chain good. Also, they also make a German chocolate, really freaking good. If you love coconut and chocolate, I love German chocolate. Now, if you go to Bluebell, Bluebell, they have the best mint chocolate chip ice cream. I really just haven't ever tried a mint chocolate chip that I like as well as I like theirs. And their Rocky Road is really good too. I really can't think of anything else. But if I go to like restaurants, if I go to like the Dairy Queen and I get a Blizzard, they used to have one that was like they used to call it strawberry cheesecake. So it was like a strawberry cheesecake Blizzard. Those are so good. Oh, I love those, and I like to get the strawberry milkshakes from Sonic. I love those too. I get one or two of those every summer at least. That's like a summertime standard is have a strawberry milkshake from Sonic. I don't have it very often, but I do love it. So, what about you, Miss Connie?
I would go with Miss Briar Snickers. It's one of my favorite. I love Snickers.
Yeah,
Now,
Snickers is good.
now, which Bluebell made a Snickers ice cream? Now, in general, I pretty much love everything Bluebell. One of my favorite flavors that we've tried recently is the chocolate sheet cake. That one's really good.
Mm.
But yeah, I love me some Bluebell. They have the best.
They do make good product. It's really good product. It's so good. I mean, there's very little that's just not good. I mean, I don't really care for anything with amaretto in it. Can't I just can't do amaretto. I just can't stand the flavor. Nothing amaretto tastes good to me. So it's other than that, I really just really not that much like, that I really just don't like maybe amaretto, and maybe because sometimes I'll put amaretto with cherries, and maybe that's why I just don't like things that taste like cherries. And I love cherries, but just something about, I don't know, amaretto.
Let's see. Lisa saying that, no, not Lisa. Oh, that was the last comment I read. Julie saying that they have watermelon. Y'all making me jealous with y'all melons. I'm gonna have to get me some melon.
I ate watermelon last week, like all last week. I was like the only one eating on it.
Lisa says you can use chocolate squash to make pumpkin pie too.
I've heard of that, and I've heard of people making pies with butternut squash too, and I want to try that. I want to try a butternut squash pie. I really am very curious about that.
And like another squash I love is the delicata.
Yeah, delicata. Yeah, I've never had delicata squash. I'm very curious about it.
One year I found it at Walmart, but I haven't found it since.
I used to work at a specialty grocery store, and I used to work, I don't know if you've heard of Sprouts, but I used to work for Sprouts. And then they had this one squash. It's really ugly on the outside. It's like this dull gray color, but it's called a sweet, excuse me, a sweet meat squash. And it's like a big winter squash. It's like this big, but it's so sweet. It's sweet like a sweet potato. It is so good. It's better than butternut squash. It is so very good. It's called sweet meat squash, and I think it's a Japanese style squash, I think. So, but it's really, really good. So if I ever see it, I get it, But I think it's just like a winter squash thing, So, and they get like those weirdo squashes in, every year. But yeah, squash season, yay!
And Chris is saying butter pecan. Yeah,
butter pecan is good. Too. It's not my favorite, but every once in a while, it's really good to have.
And Lisa says butter pecan or black walnut.
I've never had black walnut.
And Diana has to go. Bye, Diana. Hope you have a good day.
Bye.
Yeah, we won't be too much longer. And let's see. Laura Lee says she can't do ice cream but loved any kind of chocolate ice cream when she could eat it.
Yeah, I shouldn't be eating ice cream either, but I do.
And Lisa's saying tiramisu.
Ooh, now, I think tiramisu is good.
I haven't had tiramisu ice cream, but I remember the first time I tried tiramisu. Oh, it's like the best dessert ever.
It's so good.
Oh, and Diana may be doing a live later today. So
awesome.
Keep your eyes out for that in case. Crystal says chocolate cherry ice cream. Had like cardinal type cherries in the ice cream and chocolate ice cream. Which I'm an oddball. I don't care for cherries. But I know those that love cherry would probably love that.
It just depends on how it's made, because like I said, sometimes they'll put that amaretto with the cherry, and I'm like, it just kind of like, no, it just doesn't do it for me. I like the fresh cherries.
And Chris says Tillamook Marionberry pie ice cream is also pretty good.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
Me either.
That's different for me. Sounds interesting.
Julie says Dora County cherry ice cream. And Laura Lee says she eats the lime, orange, and pineapple sherbet.
Sherbet's good. It's really good. It helps cleanse the palate so well.
And let's see. Julie is saying, my neighbor took me out to run errands. He stopped at DQ and we had ice cream. I ordered the strawberry sundae. Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah, Sundays.
And Julie loves pineapple sherbet. Yeah. And Granny D is live right now too.
Oh, cool.
So y'all might want to go check her out if she's still on when I get off. So do you have any last words you want to say before we wrap everything up, Jamie?
Nothing super duper comes to mind. Though I do appreciate you inviting me to do this. I'm so excited, and I was just like, oh my gosh, you've asked me, and I was like, oh, that's so sweet, and I was like, oh, what am I gonna say? What am I gonna do? How am I gonna react? And I was a little bit nervous, but I was excited at the same time, and so I'm very honored that you asked me to do this, and I was like, oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I enjoyed having you. Thank you for coming live with me. And let's see, Mel saying, I'm a cheesecake lover. Ooh, cheesecake's good.
Yes, cheesecake good.
And her fruits are plums and grapes. Oh, those are good. But yeah, and I want to thank everybody for coming on my live today and those that are watching a replay. And let's see, Monday I will be going live at 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. And Tracy Nicole with Tracy Nicole Fiber Arts will be my guest star. So y'all make sure to check us out Monday. And also my Knitting Friday video uploaded right before my live started. So if y'all haven't checked that video out yet, it is now uploaded a day late. We can now call it Knitting Friday-ish. I have not been good about being on time with my videos the last few weeks. But I think that's all I have for y'all. At least that's all I can think of at the moment. But I hope everyone has a fabulous Yorny day. Be the light, and bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you. Hope you have a good day.